Greetings and welcome to an LGR blurb about, well, not this computer, at least not this time. This is my IBM AT that got brand new some years ago and unboxed, and, you know, that video on LGR. But really what we're going to be talking about here is what's beside it. It's this little poster. It's not exactly folded out showing the entire thing, but nonetheless, I do get a lot of questions about it. In any video that has this kind of setup in it, or pictures that I post of it on Twitter or wherever, especially recently because I've just been in sort of like an IBM or an EGA graphics kick recently, and looking at horrible ports of otherwise enjoyable games because I want to look at the graphics. PC gaming comes of age. Ooh, what is this going on? Well, let me take it out of its sleeve and show you, because yeah, there's more to it than what it looks like. Ooh, I'm causing shadows. So yeah, it's a whole thing. There's more stuff to show here than it appears. Let me take it into a better, well-lit area on a table. Let's take a look at it. Table in quieter room. Man, that computer's loud. I love the way it sounds, but it can be pretty tricky to film beside sometimes. Yeah, so this is part of the thing. This is the one that's normally hanging on the wall, the side of the advertisement. And yeah, that's all this is really. It's just an ad from Next Generation magazine. And I actually thought it was from PC Magazine or PC Gamer or something. PC something. But I was totally mistaken. February 1998, if you want to track it down yourself. And look at this. So this is like the poster part. There was this fold out section near the beginning of the magazine, and I remember seeing this back in the day and being like, oh man, 3D graphics, look at how great those characters look. I mean, you know what? It was awesome at the time. I mean, look at the polygon people from Interstate 76 and the old, Messiah guy. And you got Lara Croft and, I don't know who this is. I probably should. But yeah, anyway, look at it. This is like a who's who of 3DFX games from the late 90s, 1997, 98. Really late 97. All these are copyright 97 here. And yeah, I just love it. I don't know. 3DFX graphics cards and voodoo things, anything that uses glide mode is just one of my favorite things ever. And so having remembered seeing this back in the day and then being reminded of it when doing research on some random LGR video many, many years ago, I ran across this set of advertising and tracked down a seller on eBay who had cut it out of the magazine. So I didn't have to butcher a magazine myself. Somebody else did it. And yeah, it's just got a list of 78 3DFX glide mode games. And this was just the coolest thing back in the day, man. Not only because it was 3D acceleration, and that was neat on its own, but it was glide mode, 3DFX. It is so hard to explain if you weren't there. But imagine there were like 10 different competing APIs and ways of rendering 3D graphics at the time. And because 3DFX caught on so quickly, so rapidly, and then burned out, this is before they burned out, but they were just going off the rails with so many things, where this was the only way a lot of these games could be played with hardware 3D acceleration. It was a big deal, man. Have 78 games at the time that would run on your graphics card, which made the value proposition great. The Voodoo 2 was my very first card. No, a 3D card anyway. It was a Black Magic 12 megabyte Voodoo 2 card by STB. Actually, I have one of those I just got on eBay, and that should be here any time now. So yeah, that's just what this is. It sort of symbolizes that time. It's a very special time to me. And these are so many of my favorite games in one spot. I want to put this in a full-sized frame at some point. I'd kind of like to have both sides, maybe get another set of the ads so I could have this beside it, make like a big collage. Now let's take a closer look at what is actually on these other sheets, or really all of them. Out of the Void. Okay, here's something I gotta mention. A lot of these I've never played, and a lot of these never came out. So that's another reason that I find this absolutely fascinating. For instance, look at this. This is late 1997, and you've got Prey. That never came out. Well, it did, but it wasn't in the form that it was at that time. Anyway, all right. So yeah, Out of the Void. I got Longbow 2, a Subculture. That's a particularly fascinating one. Of course, Half-Life, which is, again, fascinating. We're talking 1997 here. This game wasn't even out yet. It's just like, oh, what is this? It looks, who knows what is this? Croc, The Legend of Galapagos? What? Gobos, man. Galapagos? Anyway, maybe the name changed. Again, I don't know. Interstate 76, Hexen 2, good old Gex. That was interesting. Gex 3D came out after Enter the Gecko, I believe. Or maybe this was Enter the Gecko. I'm not guess. Myth the Fallen Lords, good old Bungie. Good old Motor Racer, one of my absolute favorites. Kart Precision Racing, also really enjoy that. Shipwreckers, that's another one of those personal favorites. A demo of this came with my Voodoo 2 card. Forsaken, really started enjoying that in adulthood. Didn't get to that until much later. Tanaris? Don't know. FIFA 98, one of my favorite FIFA versions, actually. It's just timeless in its own weird way. It had a lot of individual features some of the later ones didn't have. Flight Unlimited 2, Wing Commander Prophecy, Nuclear Strike, love that one as well. Any of the Strike games, but especially when they went 3D like that, it was super fun at the time. And again, the glide mode was fantastic. G-Police, that's another demo that came with my Voodoo 2 card. Rather fond of it, even though I've never beaten it. There's a point where it just either glitches out or something, and I couldn't finish the level, so I never did finish it. Good old Carmageddon. They're listing the first one here because that did actually have a glide mode in DOS. Bug Riders, never played that, but it looks interesting. Need for Speed 2 SE. Yes, wonderful. MDK, absolutely fantastic, weird game. Power Slide, another classic in terms of the 3DFX era of late 90s racing. Skies by Segasoft. Don't know what that is. Never played it. Don't know. Did it come out? Who knows? Starfleet Academy, Test Drive 4, a classic in a sense that it sucks. But I still love it. I don't know. Unreal. Again, pre-release kind of era here. IF-22. I've actually never played that. I have it, but yeah, it's never played it. Death Trap Dungeon, same. I've never played that either. Die by the Sword. Some interesting controls there. That's for sure. Terracide. Always wanted to play that, but I never did. Jedi Knight. Dark Forces 2. Turok, of course. Microsoft Baseball 3D. I don't know if it was ever called that because I know of the Microsoft Baseball games later, and they went by years, not like 3D or anything. Good old Longbow. I like how Longbow 2 is mentioned way up here, and then Longbow is down here. Flying Nightmares 2. Don't know what that is. Incoming? Not familiar with it at all. Jet Moto. I don't know if this ever came out for PC. I know Jet Moto 2 did. Lands of Lore, Guardians of Destiny. Never played that. King's Quest 8. Oof. Familiar, but less said about that, the better. Quake. The GL Quake was definitely a thing, of course, but I don't believe it ever had an actual like glide-specific mode. Anyway, definitely could be, or it definitely took advantage of 3DFX if you had the right software update for the game. GL Quake was weird. Shadows of the Empire, another absolute not kind of classic, but super memorable at least. Hellbender. I just like all of those. Terminal Velocity and Fury 3, or Fury Cubed, whatever. Special Ops. Never played it. Speedboat Attack, have played that. That's by Criterion. That is a fascinating one. I've been meaning to cover that for years. In fact, I specifically sought out like a really nice box copy and was all about to do it and just never did. Ultimate Race Pro. Actually, it should have a Pro after that, but it doesn't. Good old Omicron the Nomad Soul. Another one of those where it's hard to tell what in the world kind of game it is just by looking at the screenshot, but it's hard to tell what kind of game it is anyway. And having played it a ton over the years, it's so many different things. Outlaws. I don't know why this is on here. I don't believe that it has a 3DFX mode, but maybe it was going to, or maybe it does and I just don't know about it. Team Apache, never played it, but hey, cool. Mad Tracks, never played that either. 10-6, no idea what that is. Uprising. Feels like I've played that, but I don't know. Montezuma's Return. It's like a 3D rat. Resident Evil. Again, don't know if there's actually a glide mode or glide accelerated mode for it, but I mean, it was certainly on PC. I have it. I've just never noticed, or I've never tried it on a 3DFX card. Falcon 4.0, awesome packaging, crazy, awesome flight sim of that era. And yeah, man, little Tomb Raider 2, and Vigilance, Dark Vengeance. It's interesting how so many of these end up looking the same in these screenshots they picked. It's just like hallways with columns and shadows. And like the textures repeating everywhere. Pandemonium 2. Did that ever come out? I don't know. I'm more familiar with the first one, but... And Dark Vengeance as well. This doesn't remind me of anything I remember seeing in the game. It's been so many years since I played it. Shot. What is that? Don't know. F1 Racing Simulation. That one's actually a pretty cool game from what I remember. Of course, Prey. That never came out in the form that you're seeing there. Cyber Gladiators. That game is terrible. Quake 2. Yes. Now this one definitely did take advantage of more 3DFX oriented stuff like this. In fact, that was one of the very first games that had 3DFX or 3D acceleration required, if I recall. Steel Legions, that one's pretty cool. So in terms of like a mech game. Same with Heavy Gear. I just like mech games in general. Formula 1 by Psygnosis. This is the one I was thinking of. I wasn't actually thinking of... yeah, F1 Racing Simulation. I've never played that, but I know this one for sure, as well as like F1 97 or F1 98. This is, yeah, the Bizarre Creations dudes. Before they did like Project Gotham and all that, they were doing some really cool F1 games for Psygnosis. Flight Sim 98. Indeed. Why is Prey on here twice? I don't know that I've ever noticed that. Oh my goodness. Prey is on here twice? Well, one time it says 3D Realms, and then next time it's just like, nope. And they don't even show like the portal technology. That is bizarre. Manx TT, a Superbike game. That was pretty fun. Redline. This is an interesting one too. One I've been wanting to revisit for years. I remember being intrigued by it. Confirmed Kill. No idea what that is. Extreme Assault. That one's a fascinating one too. I remember enjoying that, or at least a demo of it. NHL 98. I mean, you know, 3D hockey. Grand Slam, never played that. Ground Effect, never played that, but it's by Angel Studios. You know, I don't know if I've ever played that or even if it came out. Of course, they did so many awesome racing games in later years. Became Rockstar, was it San Diego? Midtown Madness, and then Midnight Club Racing. Tons of things. And then Swiv, 3D version. Yeah, don't know if I've ever played that. I'm more familiar with the older Swiv, like shooters and such. So, yeah, anyway. That is the 3DFX poster thing that is always right there on that wall. Best hardware, best software, PC gaming comes of age, and you've got this right here. Get Voodoo. That's what I did, and I enjoyed the crap out of it. It was just such a wonderful time to be into PC gaming. It felt like anything was possible. Anything that came out like every 6 months just blew away everything else. It was, yeah, one of my favorite eras. And computer gaming. So, yeah. The main reason I don't have this, or like the reason I have this page showing on that little sleeve on the wall is because this one's got like, see, it's cut off weirdly, and I don't know, it just looks weird to me. I kind of want to show this one now, so maybe I will. Yeah, like they're just all different sizes because of the fold-out thing. I just need to get this mounted in a frame. So anyway, thanks for asking about this. LGR blurb. I'm going crazy, but it's okay. Yep, it's like 3 a.m. Thanks for watching.